Hey, Matt here again for another Play and Explain video. Today we're going to be playing 4 tables at 200 Zoom. Let's hop in. Alright, our first playable hand here. 55 technically. This is MP will open. Here I never really know what to do when they're shorter. I guess I could size down a little bit. It's kind of what I do by default, but by no means do I know what's perfect. I think we can just do that. I kind of like betting now and checking river as opposed to checking and then betting river. We're just mostly always calling here with the lower flush and lower flush draw, and that this player's shorter. I don't mind checking back. I would check this back if we're 100. Seems fine to do so here as well. Just call here. It's interesting that he overbet here when we'll have 9-8 off as well, and still some ace queen. So I think it's an interesting size. Here, obviously, just call. This is just a, I feel like, bizarre sizing scheme here. I think we can fold. Prefer to, I think, have some straighter flush blockers, I suppose. Kind of a weird line by this player, I think. 93 will open this. I hate this free bet thing. Never use it. I suppose an 11 will check. Still think we can bet this every once in a while. 93 seems good. Roll tie, open. King's a good card. Usually when the flush gets there, check a lot. The question is, what about on this card with this hand? And I think blocking's fine. I think checking's fine too. I was actually just listening to a podcast, Doug Polk and Hikaru actually, and they were talking about the difference between a really good player and an elite player in chess and in poker. And they were talking about how often it's the attention to detail and knowing the little things. So I think a good example of this could be, okay, on a flush turn through a pot sided position, you want to check a lot, but then the question is, okay, what about on this specific turn now? That's a good general heuristic, but what about on this turn? And I think that's interesting. Here we'll call. And then river, I kind of just check, but I'm not sure exactly what's best. 37 check. And then what did this player have? 8-7. So I'd be curious to run that one later. 50 bad here, I think we call. What was this? I open button. 52 maybe we can raise actually. Seems fine to mix in there every now and then. This is pretty good. Turn gives us some options. Some 10, 9, 8, 7, I guess, but take a look at that turn size as well, and if flop was a thing, or am I just clicking buttons there? Checking's fine there. Small blind call is interesting. Usually I bet big or check. Here can kind of do whatever. I'm wondering, yeah, I don't mind this as a bet. Because we can get some overcards to fold, we have some equity. We can call it raise if it ever happens. Ooh. It's half pot size though. Usually it's a huge sin to fold to half pot or less to a recreational, even in this line. So I guess I'll just call. That sucks. Mix this. Mix this. Yes, we have the spade. We're at a time bank there. I don't know if this is the thing, but for the video, let's try something interesting. And I kind of feel like this player's sort of a button clicker based on the previous hand with the blind be blind there. So now though, I guess we give up, but it sucks. Could we ever shove turn? If we have an overpair or something, which is what our main value hand would be, how would we want to play it? Gotta love the raises in position, right? That'll be an interesting one to look at. I said he's the button clicker, but maybe I'm just the button clicker. Fix this. Call here. I think we go 2x here. We need an ace. There's one. Always nice to get check raised. Always wonder on a board like this. Again, I know I usually bet big or check, but I wonder on a board like this if we can just do that. Mm, 2x, I just think that hand's still too weak to defend. $99. I think we want to bet on this board. We probably want to go small. It's weird because we don't open the suited 8x here. We don't have many. Oh, I guess we don't have time big to even discuss it, but that was what I was thinking, so I don't know how much I really want to bet here on the turn. One, I think it's fine to have a check back range on this board. 10 seems to make sense to want to do it, and I guess on the river we just bet. I don't think we really need protection, get that much value, so check. Kind of a good, but maybe bad river. It's an unfortunate turn, isn't it? Really, Jack? This is an interesting spot. I'm going to call, but I want to say that I think people call these suited connectors and 3-bet them more often on the button than they should versus these early positions. Like I think it's a very low frequency call in 3-bet, but we are 120 deep, so I don't really know how that changes things, and I think people don't account for that as much as they should. I feel like most people just play a standard 100 big blind strategy at all times. Maybe we start betting now, rolling that number. We don't have an ace, which is good. It's a fun river, but I think we still do this. Let's say we have some jacks, queen 10. It's an interesting call. Oh, 90, let's mix that in even though. With the spade, I guess this is what versus cutoff tech? Oh no, I open raise. I guess call, but I'm not really sure. Feels like we have to, right? With the 10 connecting with the jack, sort of. Just looked at a sim similar to this. I think we can still bet. Wow. Well then, definitely gets the gambler tag. Turn. Although let's call on us. I like checking. 6 we have the heart too. The jack's not ideal, but we have a pair and it's a paired board, so. We'll take it. It's weird because it's rainbow. Sometimes it bets smaller more than I think. But then I get on this board, I think I want a bit big. But then another situation we have is we're 140 deep, and that's why I rattle. I don't really know if there's still overbets here that deep. So maybe we'll just do this, and this could be really bad, and we'll look at it later. Or I will look at it later, I suppose. I think we can still call, actually. Sizing wise, I think we just do this, not this. I'm really curious to see what he had. Okay. The reason I called is I wondered if we had to call some king high just because maybe we beat some bluffs and we still could improve. So yeah, but again, I have no idea. We're playing a little bit deeper, so my intuition's not too strong there. And well, I mean, I guess I just knew I was going to hit a 10, so. All right, I think we're close to the half an hour or getting there, so we'll start to wrap it up here soon. Our favorite button clicker. Nice. What do you think he had? Deuces. Pretty sure versus a 3-bet that's not even a call, but maybe you thought, well, with that player, and why not? You know, deuces will retain a lot of equity. Yeah, let's go sit on next blinds, I suppose. If I could have made it a little bit bigger, just that he made it 8. He runs it once. Usually when someone runs it once, I say they deserve to lose. especially a regular, but it is what it is. He's nice to me in chat. I actually have a note. I made somebody a clown just because they always run it once. It just is a little tilting. Do we want to bet here multi-way? I never really know what to do. It seems like we want to, but well, I guess versus this size we call and see what happens. Yeah. Just call. Should think he could bet this board more often than he probably thinks. Still don't know if there's a real reason to bet. I guess some ace queen off, ace king, sure we get that to full, but I mean some of those other broad ways that they 3-bet, or sorry 4-bet, we already dominate, so we'd actually want to see like a jack or something, or deuce. So we did roll 99. Alright, we rolled 99. That'll be my excuse to mix that in. That's always a good excuse, right? Can't be terrible to mix in there, but problem is ace queen, ace king is probably just calling again, right? So maybe this is a bad bet. I shouldn't say call again, I mean call once. I think on this river, we just have to rip it. We have lots of value. What's our bluffs? If we bet turn, we probably should bet river. 10s, 9s, 5, 4. Well, definitely a few interesting ones. Really curious to see what you think in the comments. That was definitely an interesting session. Lots of hands I can't wait to run and see the results. As always, feel free to give me some feedback in the comments. Don't be afraid to be harsh. I'm making these to learn as well. So that's all for this one. Talk to you soon.